Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Kristen, and on this channel I break it down so you don't have a breakdown. This video is going to be a light and fluffy one. We are going to talk about how to parent like a millennial. And chances are, if you're watching me here on YouTube, you are a millennial parent because you're not on the tickety talk. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe you do watch TikTok as well. But in general, our generation is a little bit different, right? And we're definitely different than our parents' generation or our parents' generation. I did some research and I looked at what is a common thread with us? What do we have in common between millennial parents? And I pulled up the top 5 ways to parent like a millennial. So let's get started. The first thing that millennials are doing is they are parenting later. They are starting later. The average age for a mother to give birth was around 21 in the 1970s. And now it's about 27. And as you can imagine, that's just the average. There are many women who are waiting to start their families later in life. Very common. The second thing that millennials are sharing is that they are parenting peacefully. This means that the house is not a dictatorship. It's more of a democracy where we are allowing our children to have input, allowing them to ask questions, explore their feelings, avoid shame. It doesn't mean that the children are running the house. It just means that they don't have to sit there and be quiet. They have a say, they have an opinion, and we're willing to listen to it and allow them to say and convince us why it might be a good idea. You'll see terms thrown around like gentle parenting, positive discipline, conscious discipline. There's so many programs, but the basis and the foundation of those programs are just that your child is not just meant, what is the saying? To be seen, not heard, right? That's what older generations used to say about children. Now, as a millennial parent, and it's very common with other millennial parents, is our kids are humans and they have opinions too, and we're willing to listen to them. The third way to be a millennial parent is to get involved. This data blew my mind. So as you know, there are more women in the workforce than ever. There are more homes where there are working parents, and yes, there is still a huge amount of stay-at-home parents as well. But when it comes to getting involved, this blew my mind. Did you know that even though we as millennial parents have so much more on our plate, we are actually spending more time with our children than previous generations? So if you hear nothing else today, maybe that guilt that you've been holding on yourself about, I don't do enough for my child. We as a generation are spending more time with our children than any generation previously recorded. For fathers, they were only spending around 16 minutes with their children in 1960. Now they're up to 59 minutes per day. That is many times greater, and it's only continuing. So parental involvement is huge for the millennial generation. We are juggling schedules, we are fitting in free time, we are fitting in activities after school. And unlike our parents' generation that was more of like helicoptering and over scheduling, with millennial parents, they actually carve out free time into their schedule, like play dates and such, where it's unstructured activities, but they're still spending time with their kids. The next way to parent like a millennial is to be super safe. Yes, that means we have entered the age of Google when it comes to what sunscreen to use, what car seat to use, do they forward face, do they rear face, what kind of helmet should they wear. We as millennial parents are super duper safe. We research everything almost to our detriment. But that's just something that we care about because we want to keep our kids safe. I'm not saying our parents' generation didn't, but it does show a trend with the fact that we have this over amount of, a surplus, that's the word I'm looking for. We have this surplus of information at our fingertips that our parents didn't have. So when they wanted to know, like, what do I do, once my kid can stand in their crib, they ask their mom or they ask the neighbor, they ask the pediatrician. Now we go online and we're like, we got to check the CDC and we have to check the WHO and we have to ask and we have to find scholarly articles to match each of them. It's exhausting, but it's something that we do. And the last way to be a millennial parent is to document everything. As millennial parents, we have had access to the internet since our children were in utero. So we have ultrasounds that are posted. Some of our pee sticks are posted. Every milestone is documented. The first time your kid lost their tooth, they walked, they crawled, they said a word, what word it was. We have videos. We have documented everything. The last thing I want to leave you with is because we document everything, another commonality I saw was that we make everything a big deal. So the tooth fairy is a huge deal. And Christmas isn't just Christmas. We have Elf on the Shelf. Then we got Mensch on a Bench. Now we have the Switch Witch. And I think, in my opinion, a lot of the reasons why we as millennial parents make everything over the top is because we are just celebrating every little moment because we're so busy. So it brings us a ton of joy to be able to celebrate every little milestone and share it with the people that we love. Just make sure that you're sharing it for you. It's not a comparison game of which kid talked first, because I went through that with my first child. You go in those mommy groups and it's like, oh, what's your child doing and how much do they weigh? And it's like, okay, chill out. Once you get to your second kid, and I'd imagine if I had a third, I would feel even more the same. But as a teacher, I feel like I kind of have lots of kids and lots of experience where it doesn't really matter what other kids are doing. But getting back to the topic of millennial parenting, we definitely document everything. It's no longer in those books that sit in a cabinet somewhere like our parents. It's on social media. So to wrap this all up, the next time you're out, be proud to be a millennial parent if you are one. We are a group of parents that have had the internet at our fingertips and that we've had to work really hard and balance it all. And we have social media that we could use for our benefit. So I'm glad you're here using this social media. Does YouTube count as social media? I don't even know if YouTube counts as social media. I guess it's social. You're interacting with me. I'm interacting with you. And hit the like for me. Hit the subscribe. Join us on the channel where I talk about all kinds of parenting techniques and tips and tricks. And we laugh and we talk about things that are hard and we talk about things that are fun. Because parenting is a journey and it's much easier when we have each other. I'll see you soon.